when you are discussing regulation and regulatory design in India, in Africa, in other parts that you work in, are the impulses completely different? Is the conversation that is happening around regulation in many of those societies of a very different nature and texture? Is multi-stakeholderism that Brad is espousing and most of us vote for, does it capture voices from the global south, and are they given space in the design of the future? Or are we still seeing a largely developed country conversation designing the digital future?
Well, I would say it's a mixed bag. If you really look at it, even very advanced countries have, not had the perfect regulatory regime from day one. It's evolved over a period of time, things have got better, but not because of superior outcomes of deliberations or discussions, but hard outcomes of businesses out there. So almost every government felt that if you give a new license for a mobile phone, you can make a lot of money, sell more spectrum, create more competition. Now this went on for a very long period of time, and lots of countries, including India, as you know, gave 12, 13 new licenses. Now, for every business or every sector, there is a point of inflection after which more competition hurts. And especially where you have very large amounts of capital expenditure. I mean, our industry spends over 25% of its revenues on new capital expenditure every year. It's a very large, it's a very, very capital intensive industry. And second is you replicate a lot of assets. People are building fiber lanes next to each other, people are building towers next to each other. So you just keep on replicating, wastefully deploying a lot of infrastructure because everybody wants to have stranglehold and make defenses of their power of balance sheet so they will not share infrastructure. But over a period of time, where are we? India is down to 2.5 operators. Africa, mostly where I operate, is down to 2 operators. There are barely 1 or 2 countries where there are 3. Yet, we saw in Singapore, small country, 3 operators, a 4th license has been given. Inexplicable. Why would you give a 4th license when for a small nation's island state that you have in Singapore, 3 would have been enough? So it's back and forth, always the government wanting more competition for the customers or wanting to cash in more money for spectrum or licenses. Yet, we end up in the same place that 1 or 2 people will consolidate and die. Look at Europe today. They've been fighting a battle for the last 7 years, 8 years now, that they want to consolidate. And regulator after regulator have been rejecting it. Ofcom rejected a merger, EU rejected many mergers, but now finally, I think it's being allowed because they've realized if you want 5G, if you want solid, robust highways around the globe, you need to have 2, 3 very strong operators rather than fragmented, weak, half-baked operators, which are many. So I would say there is no one conversation anywhere. Outcomes are defining regulation. And I really feel we need to start to define outcomes from the regulation, the other way around. Build regulations that you get the outcomes you want, big investments, big highways, serve the communities, connect the world. That should be the principal way of dealing with it. Look at Indian digital policy. Every year, whenever the policy has been made, or every 5, 7, 8 years, revenue maximization is not the objective. That is a highlight of every policy. Yet, that's exactly what happens. So, there's a conundrum there.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.